We have all of our staff members present for this next report? Yes, we do. Okay.
Nice.
All right, then let's begin. This is the FECEP annual report. Thank you all very much, and you are welcome to begin. Thank you.
Thank you for having us here tonight. We're very happy as Early Childhood to be here sharing our annual report with you. I'm going to share just a little information, and then I'll have the pleasure of introducing our parent representative. So as you know, each year, FECEP Head Start FCPS Pre-K presents an annual policy report. It's a regulation by Head Start that the Parent Policy Committee reports to its governing body, which is the school board. So as a brief overview, for this year's 1,755 pre-K slots, we had over 4,600 applications. Not all of those applications are for age income eligible families. Some may be too old, some may be too young, but you can tell just by that number that there are a lot of interested families in this opportunity. And since we'll be adding an additional student for next year, we have a projected enrollment for next year of 1,850. Currently, we have about 205 children on our wait list. And a nice highlight is that this year we were able to support 65 children through Child Find. So you can see the impact of early identification and support. A little bit about the Parent Policy Committee governance structure. We have at least 2 representatives from each of our school sites. And then early in the beginning of the year, those groups elect an executive board as well as 16 representatives. And then shortly after, the Policy Council is elected. The Parent Policy Council has a number of responsibilities. They attend monthly parent meetings, and then as well as the monthly Parent Policy Committee meetings at both Robinson Secondary School and at Lease Center. And then they communicate with their family service partners they work closely with. They also come each month to share ideas and make decisions and help make decisions and review practices. And then a little snapshot of the Parent Policy Committee Executive Board and Policy Council. Tonight we have with us Ms. Yaritza Bustillo. She is our chairperson. And we have a number of the other Policy Council members in the back there, most in blue, Head Start blue. Ms. Bonan from Chantilly High School is our vice chairperson. Ms. Al-Shawanki is our secretary from Cunningham Park. Ms. Olvera is our treasurer from Annandale Terrace Elementary School. And Ms. Salim is our parliamentarian. So Ms. Yaritza Bustillo is our chairperson. And not only is she our Parent Policy Committee chairperson, but she's also a representative on the larger Fairfax County Office for Children Parent Policy Council, and she's a parent of a pre-K student at West Potomac High School. So I'll turn it over to her, and she'll share a little bit about her experience, as well as what you've read already within the annual report.
Good evening, school board members. You're gonna forgive me if I'm nervous. I am usually not nervous, but today I am. So as you know, my name is Yaritza Bustillo. I am the current chairperson for the Fairfax County Public Schools Pre-K Parent Policy Committee and a representative of the Fairfax County Office for Children Parent Policy Council. I would like to take this opportunity to actually thank you from the bottom of my heart to all of you, the school board, for your continuous support to the Fairfax County Public Schools Pre-K program and for the opportunity to speak to you tonight. For me, it's very important to represent the children and the parents that are in this amazing program tonight. So I might sound a little tearful because I love this program. I am a big advocate. I actually attend almost every meeting from the school, from the council, because I believe in this program. And I am actually, I went to kindergarten myself and early childhood. So it made a big impact in my life. So for me to be a parent and have my daughter, Luna, in this program in Fairfax County, it's a privilege. And it's actually my privilege for you guys to actually accept my child into the program. So thank you. And I want to clap for you because you do an amazing job day to day to make sure that our children have the best education. Just a little bit of my story. Last August, prior to the school, I met two extraordinary people, which is Ingrid Arneson Ponce and Grace Winslow. They are like literally two angels from heaven down to this earth that helped me, guided me in this journey of the enrollment process, and they just walked me in. They were so welcome, so bubbly, so happy. You can tell that they are actually they love what they do, passionate about this program, that I fell in love. I couldn't wait for the school to start. I couldn't wait for my daughter to go to school. And throughout that time, it was just extraordinary. They helped me. They told me about the kickoff meeting, how important, how the impact it could have into the family. And I was so excited and overwhelmed to go to this kickoff meeting. So when I went to the kickoff meeting, I was so nervous, just as nervous as I'm here. Because I didn't know what to do or how it was gonna help me and my child. So when I went, they started talking, they greeted everybody, it was so welcoming, and they were starting to vote for the chairperson and for the executive board. Inside of me, it was like, I need to be there. I wanna be there. I want to make sure I am the voice of my child and all those kids that need to be in this program. Guess what? I did it. So I'm in. I went. I expressed how important is education in the children and how privileged we are to have a high level of expectations and all the devotion and passion that each and every teacher puts into their classroom. And I love my child teacher. Miss Karen Monteroy Boyd is amazing. She is amazing. She is inspiring. She is a mother. She is a nurse. She's a teacher. She's a lovable person. And the best thing of all is that nothing can stop her, nothing. When I say nothing is nothing, she will find a way for your child to learn, to make it fun, make it playful. And that's why I fall in love. I fall in love, and I can't express myself more than how I feel, because early Head Start and Head Start are an amazing program for our children. And I wish that we continue providing this service to every children in America, because it's their first step into the future. So the reason why I ran for chairperson that evening was for my children. I have two kids. My son, he's 7. He is in 2nd grade. He will be in 3rd grade next year. And then my daughter, Luna, which is in the program. Of course, it's sad to see her go, but that's a parent kind of love, to just see their child grow and express her feelings and see how she grows in the school and how she loves the school. So there are days that, of course, we as a parent feel down, but they are our batteries. They are our motivation to keep on going and move forward and teach them and help them go to school and do their work, and they come to you and they express how was their day, and that's overwhelming. That's how it makes me happy to be part of such an amazing program. The pre-K program is the best place for the whole family to grow and learn, and I've been a witness. As parents, I'm a young mom of two beautiful and healthy children. So as a mom, it's a big impact for your kids to come home and say, Mom, I did this, I did that, I colored this, Mommy, this is my community. My son drew a whole picture of the community. And then here comes my daughter explaining, my community has a post office. The post office receives letters. So I'm like, yes, you're right. So it's very important for your kids to express and for us as a parent to hear all these things. It's amazing because they're learning. That means that the actual program, it's working. And that's how I feel. I'm happy that we have this amazing program. And as she was explaining, you know, we are in so much need of many things. We would love to each and every children that apply to attend school to be in this program. So I was equally excited to meet my daughter's teacher, and I went into the classroom. I was very happy and excited. I couldn't wait for the actual school to start. And me and my daughter, we were ready. We were ready for September. We wanted to be there. And as my last child, I couldn't be more excited to be part of that day. The Fairfax County Public School Pre-K program impact many families within Fairfax County. The program receives over 4,600 children's application throughout the 2017-2018 school year. And of those 4,600 applications, the program was able to provide high-quality comprehensive service to 1,860 of them, ranging in the ages from 3 to 5 years old, infants and toddlers, which is amazing, and I'm so thankful. The children's and family who are able to receive the program service are, you know, they provided with opportunities for health, nutrition, and parenting education, because we as a parent, we also need to be educated. And it helps us guide our children. And with all the meetings that they do and the facilities that they have every month, we learn a lot from those meetings as how to help your child get over a tantrum, or how can you play with them, breathing techniques, which I do that myself. I do the because I need those breaks too, you know? So it's important that we learn the simple things actually help us go through so much throughout the day, and it's important. This year, 65 children were supported throughout the Child Find referral process, and 127 received additional support throughout individualized action plans provided by the pre-K program. And in addition to that, you know, family received strength knowledge in regards to relationship building, life skill, dental care, family engagements. But as we all know, unfortunately, due to the limited space, not all of those who qualified are able to participate in this program. 205 preschool children are currently on the wait list. As a mom, I would love my child to go to school early. So that's the place that I put myself. I put myself in other parents. I'm fortunate to be one of those parents that actually was accepted into the program. So I would love to see every child come to early Head Start and get them ready for school, because this gets them ready for school. So they were unable to receive the high quality preschool instructions, the health, the nutrition service, the mental health support, family engagement for the parents and guardians, and possible early intervention. Additional fundings can provide a preschool experience for those children who are waitlisted each year. Furthermore, additional fundings can also provide the program the ability to maintain quality comprehensive service, support high quality instructions by providing teachers opportunities for the professional growth, and planning to plan their students' curriculum by way of planning time substitutes, which it's very important. The teachers don't have all this time. The teachers don't have enough time to plan. And by having substitutes, it will provide them time to get out and prepare for the next school day. And it gives them time to be more prepared. So by having the substitute, I think that will be another addition, important addition that we need. Provide age-appropriate playgrounds at schools which have preschool students. We have a lot of playgrounds that are not child-appropriate in many schools. Those playgrounds definitely need to be updated. I personally couldn't ask for a better school program, and I've said it since day one, because Fairfax County Public Schools provide my child a holistic preschool experience. And I cannot thank you guys enough. My family's life has changed for the better, and I can see it every day in my daughter. I can see it every day in my daughter. I truly believe in this program. Excuse me if I tear up, because I really do believe in this program. It provides a foundation for a brighter future for all children and their families who are touched by it, and I am touched by it. So I know I learn every day, or every opportunity that I get to go to those meetings, I learn, because sometimes we need a reset button to update ourselves to the new millennials. And I'm a young mom, but I go old school. I was raised with great-grandma and grandma, so I'm old school. So it's important to kind of reset ourselves and adjust to the new kids, to how everything works. And they are sponges, literally. They absorb everything around them. This is just the first step for them to conquer this great big world with our support. And I always say education is the key to the future, and it takes a village. It takes a village for our children to prepare for the future. And education is the future. So I want to thank you all for giving me the opportunity to speak to you tonight. And I cannot thank Grace and Ingrid for helping me with the application process. So thank you.
Well, thank you very much. We're very pleased that you were here to share your story this evening. It means a lot to us as well. So thank you. Mr. Moon, you have a question?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thanks for the presentation. I have a question or two. I don't know whether I should be asking you or someone else from the staff to answer my questions. I'm a numbers person, looking at the numbers. Over 4,600 applications, and in FY18, it's about 1,755, with 205 students currently on waiting list. So if I add up 1,755 to 205, that's about 2,000. So meaning for the balance of 2,600, are they all either over income or not qualify based upon ages, or there are many youngsters that somehow the family chose not to put on the wait list?
So it's a mixture. Some that were over income, and actually we see a good number of families who are just over income by very small amounts of money, actually, that probably wouldn't make that big of an impact in, how your yearly budget, but they are just over, so they can't be accepted. So we do see a growing number of those families who are just over income. And some of the families that we aren't able to serve then can be served through other means, such as programs through Office for Children. And so they may not end up in our wait list because we're able to collaborate with them to be able to find a pre-K space for them outside of FCPS.
So out of those 2,600 youngsters, how many were deemed not to have qualified? either based upon their income or ages?
I can get that for you.
Okay.
I'm not sure offhand, but we can
Now
look
let me
for it.
ask you this question.
Yes.
If we had unlimited resources, wanted to have all these, additional 2,600 young kids into the program, how much would that have cost us?
To have those additional students,
2,600 additional, or 2,800 additional.
we can work up those numbers as well, because it would also take some facilities planning.
I understand.
Yes.
I understand that
Yes.
whether it's a tune of 20 million, 30 million, 40 million, or 10 million, would you be able to give us a wild guess at the number at this point?
I'm not sure that I could
Okay.
give you a wild guess at this
Let me take a
point.
quick crack. Francisco, the VPI slot number, do you know what that number is off the top of your head? I thought you quoted that to me before once.
I don't have it on top of my head, but I did give it to you before.
Yeah.
Well,
And I would also add, we're happy to follow up on any questions. We don't
okay.
want to.
All right.
Give the board
Let me
wild
try.
guesses.
Let me try this one more time. We have in FY18, we have a 1,755 funded. How much is that costing us?
Just
Well,
for the
you wanna have to
board,
get back
remember,
to me on
these
that?
are advisory committee meetings. We didn't come to do a presentation per se. We can be prepared to go back and get answers to any questions. I mean, we just didn't come with all of that here. It was
Oh, right.
No, I'm saying, but I'd say roughly at least 15 grand, I'd say per slot.
15 grand per
Right.
slot.
We're adding one kid. We'd cut the wait list by half next year with our proposal to add. We added one
So
kid.
if I use a 15 grand times 2.6, that's about close to 40 million.
Right.
Okay.
Mr.
Thank-
Moon, can I just
thank you.
ask, Mr. Moon, I think you're spot on. I asked that question, like if we funded everybody in the wait list, I asked that question probably several years in a row. And
Okay.
it's around 35
And-
to 30 to
okay.
48 million.
30 to 40.
depending on-
Okay.
yes,
So yeah.
yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Let's pray that we can win a big lottery and have that done in one big swoop.
Thank you. I have Ms. Evans and then Ms. Karen Corbett-Sanders, and I'm looking to see who else.
Well, thank you so much for that excellent presentation. The program couldn't ask for a better advocate than you, so thank you for your service and for coming here today. That I think you pointed out all the reasons why this is so very, very important to so many children. Mr. Moon asked one or two of my questions about why we have so many that apply and nonetheless aren't eligible. It's to have it be more than half is an interesting statistic. In terms of the wait list, you mentioned space. Is it primarily a space issue, or is it a slot issue, or is it a combination of both? I think we've looked at this before, but I think in some areas it's a matter of space, but in others it's just that we don't have the funding. Isn't that correct?
Correct.
Right, and I think, I represent an area that if you look on your report on page, I think it is 12, and you see the map there. If you could go to can we go to page 12?
In the report itself.
In the report,
correct?
yeah, in the report itself. Yes, that one. Mhm. Right there. So I represent the Stewart Pyramid Falls Church. I have half of Falls Church along with Ms. Palchek and Annandale with Ms. McLaughlin. So you can see that my areas are among those with the highest number that don't have preschool. So I would be very interested, I know a number of my colleagues are too, in figuring out the best way to increase the number of slots so that those numbers, those percentages come way down. I think there was a time in my area where it was largely a matter of space. We had to send students from Bailey's Elementary School, for example, over to Falls Church. We had to retrofit the high school with that. I think now it's not quite as difficult a time. We've sent all of our students back to Bailey. So I would love for us to work with you on ways to find ways to get more slots. I know we're all on the same page on that we would all like to see more and more students do that. So with that, if you wanted to go back to the one other thing I wanted to ask you about was the age-appropriate playgrounds. Do you have a sense of to what extent there are age-appropriate playgrounds? You're talking about smaller pieces of equipment, basically, right? Just smaller. So is there, could you give me a sense of where there are age-appropriate and where there aren't? Do most of them not have age-appropriate
The
playgrounds?
majority do at this
They
point,
do.
but there's still a large number that do not. I don't remember the exact, I think it's around 17 sites that do not.
17 sites do not.
So they
Okay.
may have a playground that is for 5 and up, but not for below.
Okay. I guess I would ask for that to be a next step to see, which are the sites that do not have the age appropriate.
We have a list.
You have a list,
We do,
okay. Did I
yes.
miss it in the?
It probably
It's-
isn't there. I had put it
okay.
together after we got
Okay,
the
well then
report
I
together
would
for you.
love to see
Sure.
that list. And I thank you again for your passionate advocacy. Appreciate it.
I have Ms. Corbett Sanders.
Thank you. And I really like that you pointed to the map on page, I guess it's 12. And that shows where students are entering our schools without a pre-K experience. But I want to make a connection between that and the earlier discussion about 4,600 people apply and we serve less than 50%. It would be very helpful, and I don't know if this is possible, to understand where the 205 on our wait list are located and where are the almost 2,000 students, potential students who we're not able to serve, and whether they mesh up with the dark areas on this map. Because then the advocacy should be both here and at the county level. Maybe we need to change the index for qualifying for these services. And so if somebody could get us that information, that would be very helpful, because that will really define the demand. I, too, am glad you raised the issue of the playgrounds. I have one of those schools. Actually, it's located in Ms. Derenak Koufax's district, but we share that school. And so I do know that we have that one in particular at Mount Eagle needs an age-appropriate playground. So it would be helpful to have that list. You also raised the issue of substitutes, and it would be helpful to understand a little bit about what the demand for substitutes is, if we have an estimate of how many professional development hours we need, and how to best meet that demand. Is it by a substitutes, or is it after school professional development, et cetera? So that would also be very helpful. And once again, this has been fantastic. I'm very just honored that you have spent so much time on this program and this advisory committee. We are blessed to have you as part of our community. So thank you so much for what you've done for the past year and here tonight. Out of curiosity, where is your son in school?
My son goes to Groveton Elementary,
Excellent.
and my daughter goes to West Potomac, the pre-K
Wonderful.
program. Yeah.
So she's a Wolverine.
She is a Wolverine. You should see her with her shirt.
Thank you so
But
much.
thank you, and I make time out of my agenda to make sure that the education of my children met their needs. And as a parent, we have to take time to important things in their lives, and that's being part of school activities, of every milestone that they do, that we are there, because it's important. It's an impact in their lives. They will remember, my mom went to my graduation. My mom went to my art, it's very important. And And I'm pleased and I'm very honored to be here. And thank you for listening to my story. I appreciate you all.
Thank you. And then I have Ms. Palchuk and then Mr. Nikofix. Ms. Palchuk?
Yes, thank you so much. It's wonderful to hear from you, both the data and your personal story. So I'll have a couple of questions on both and your recommendations for continuing that level of engagement. I guess following on what my colleagues have said, I just wanted to clarify, when we're looking at having increased from about 95 new slots for 2019, I believe that's correct. Are all of those from our formula change, or is there additional funding that has gone in for new slots for next year?
Those, I believe, are coming from additional VPI slots.
Additional VPI slots, so it's not just from the formula change. Okay. That's one, and that's in addition, I believe the county for their programs allotted maybe 26 pre-K slots.
Yeah, part of that was the fact that we allowed now we currently have 17 students per class, so next year will be 18.
Right.
And so that was a big piece of it. And then any additional offset of that came from the VPI match for our side. Then the county did put additional dollars in their budget to enhance some more seats on their side.
So the 95 is a combination of the formula change and the VPI.
The
funding,
increase
the
by one
increase.
student to 18, yes.
Okay, would it be, I don't know, is that in here, the breakdown of the additional slots that came from the class size for that versus the VPI?
It's all combined. It's all in
combined.
one.
Okay, so it's not possible. Okay, thank you. Obviously not enough. My rough estimations, Mr. Moon, was that it's somewhere around the ballpark of $3 million for those 200 slots, but closer to above 40 million for the larger list. So something that I hope I know Skip is trying to look at that. I hope with the county we really start to see together more leadership in how we plan to address that. Sorry, I also appreciate you bringing up the playgrounds and substitutes. That seems like something we can look at. And my other question for you is, and this is something that working with our PTAs and our parent liaisons is trying to figure out how we best engage and help encourage our parents and train them and get them to become the kind of advocates and leaders and school leaders that I see every time we have this presentation from our FECEP Advisory Council. So I'm wondering if you have takeaways, recommendations, or things that we as a board or community could do to better support our families as they come into the school system to feel empowered and engaged and as involved as you've been for your kids.
Well, we actually discussed that on our monthly meeting. How can we attract parents? How can we bring them? What can we do to make sure they're actually active with their students or their children's school? What can we do? We did a survey and we got a lot of feedback on maybe making sure that we bring a speaker or representative on our monthly meetings that catches their eyes, the parents' eyes, and maybe they don't have an experience on that type of subject. So maybe we can bring a speaker every month and to provide all those services that they might be having questions, doing activities with the parents that involve the children and the mom and the dad, because we also want to see male. We had a couple of males, which is it's impressive, and it's important to have daddy involved in the program. So we want to make sure that we attract both mom and dad to any activities that we do, bringing speakers, bringing family activities. We also mentioned about having flyers in the kids' backpack or a sticker that they can go home. They see a sticker, they'll be like, Mommy, I have a sticker. Look, this is for you. Because my daughter brings me a sticker when they go to a field trip, or, teachers actually put the stickers and she's like, oh, I got a sticker. So maybe something like that, a flyer that can go to all the parents, expressing, hey, we're having a meeting, don't forget, don't miss out, we're having a blast, or something that catches their eye, and that, of course, not every parent can attend. We have parents that work 2 to 3 jobs a day to, to make sure their families have a living and have a roof and have food and pay their bills. Not everybody is lucky to come, but we all want to make sure they know what's going on, or maybe sending a flyer of what we discuss, what were the points, the major discussion points, advice, maybe having a book fair or something like that can call the parent. And of course, for me, I have a full-time job, and I'm actually a clown, so I work every day. So I'll make time to come because it's important. So yes, I'm a clown. A lot of people be like, "You're a clown?" Yes. I'm like, yes, I am a professional clown. I do shows on the weekend. But the way that I am, it's like they all be like, "Oh my God, you have all this energy. Where do you get all this energy?" I'm like, well, you have to be positive. You always have to be smiling to make other people smile. You have to learn and absorb as much information as you can to make sure you actually tell your friend, the other parent, hey, we discussed this in the meeting. It was so great. You missed out. But here, let me give you the 911 on the meeting. So that's how I've been doing it. But I think that having a speaker every month, it's a great thing because they actually attend. And it catches their eyes. They're interested. They ask questions, and they're part of it. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Thank you.
Ms. Darren Kofax.
Yes, Ms. Bustillo, thank you so much for your hard work and what you do and for coming to us tonight. And as you said, your energy and enthusiasm are palpable, and I just so appreciate that you can come and speak to us anytime because we need that kind of energy and positivity, and we so appreciate you taking the time because we know you're a full-time working mom with 2 children, and to add this onto your schedule is not easy, but we really appreciate it, and thank you also for coming out tonight. It's most of it, and as Ms. Palchek said, I appreciate your thoughts and considerations to get more people. We realize there are certain people that can't make it, but I do think there's a cadre of people that we can energize and bring forward, and with you at the helm, if you're going to do it again next year or stay on the committee.
I wish I can. Yes, I would love it.
But that's what we need, that kind of spirit to recruit additional parents and families on here. So thank you. Ms. Blake, how many classrooms? You gave us the number of kids. How many classrooms do we have now currently? FCPS?
We have 100 pre-K classrooms
100.
and 6 early Head Start classrooms.
Okay, thank you. And that's all my questions. Thank you.
Okay, great. Can we look very quickly at the next steps because there were some questions that board members had for future answers, one dealing with playgrounds and one dealing with substitutes. Do we have that?
Funding issue, budget issue.
Funding. Okay, well, let's take a look at this. We had list of which schools do not have age-appropriate playgrounds, and then we had Mr. Moon, you had a question, specific question on funding. Can you restate that?
Cost enroll or children who have applied into pre-K.
Okay, so the full cost. So
Full
it's-
cost.
And this would be assuming that all those who applied would not necessarily be a part of the Offices for Children because there are other programs that will pick up the kids.
Just wanted to have a
So-
sense of that.
A sense of that, okay? And Ms. Corbett-Sanders, you had a question?
Sorry, who applied but were not granted admission, correct?
Correct.
Full cost of
Fulfilling the wait list and those that didn't get in, so it's like 2,000.
for FISA, right? The large number. Okay, all right. And Ms. Corbett-Sanders, you had a question?
A heat map, please provide a heat map of where those students that have applied that are on the waiting list and where those that applied but do not qualify because of income restrictions are located.
Okay, and then I have one last question, which is, out of the large number that you quoted in the applications, how many of those are being served through other programs for the Office for Children? Subsidy slots, do we know that? Probably.
We can get that for
Yeah,
you.
that would be, yeah, because there are other pre-K programs there are not, often don't have quite all the wraparound services. So, but it would be good to know that
Sorry,
as well.
Ms.
Can I ask
Corbett, sorry.
Can I ask for color differentiation on the waiting list between 3 and 4-year-olds?
Okay, and so that we
I
would,
would like different colored dots for 3 and 4-year-olds.
okay, so that,
Sorry.
okay, and Ms. Palchuk?
I just want, whether it's adding it to Ms. Corbett Tanner's, I'd like to get more information on those families that were who just missed the income. I don't know if there's a good way for you to share that information.
Okay,
Okay.
right. Okay, I think we've asked all our questions. We'll wait for answers at a later time. Again, thank you very, very much. And perhaps we'll meet you clowning on the weekend sometime. How exciting! What a wonderful adventure. Thank you very much. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, we will take about 2 minutes, and then we will have the school health care advisory.